On today's show,
we discuss the Kings finding DeMarcus Cousins and whether Rudy Gobert is the best center in the league.
in Fill in the Blank, Van Gundy's rant was, Prince's dab was, Gabrielle Union's reaction to Butler was,
And Lily joins us live from Oakland to get us all set for tonight's Jazz Dubs game.
it's Tuesday, December 20th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
So nice that it's Thursday, right?
Absolutely. Wait,
Right.
it's Tuesday. Over there, over yonder, it's the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey,
Oh, TK, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And speaking of the internet, we get weird stuff sent to us on the internet all the time. And this very solid wedgie from a fan named Mark is no different. Take a look.
Welcome back to the starters. It's time for Lili's very solid play.
All right, Lily.
A very solid.
It's been a while.
It's like a Tim and Eric version of
What
the
was
starters.
that?
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but I like it. And it brings us to today's question. What starters phrases do you use in your everyday life? Me personally, every morning when my girls wake up at 5 a.m., I like to hit them with a "Good morning, sweet girls!"
Oh, look how cute
And then
they
they
are.
burst into tears.
What?
Nah, they're sweet girls.
Yeah.
Anyways, we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What starters phrases do you use in your everyday life? Send us your favorites to #TheStarters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get those tweets in. Let's get Lily in here. He's joining us live from Oakland. He's getting ready for tonight's Jazz Warriors game. I'm interested to hear Lee's thoughts on that fun piece of art we just had there, Lily.
It was pretty cool and pretty weird at the same time.
That's what we were expecting. Just like your hair. What's going on with that
Well,
little
that's my
tuft
style,
of hair?
man. That's my style, man. I'm out here, you know. I'm out in the Bay Area. You got to look cool. I'm a cool-looking guy.
Okay, well, a couple of questions for you off of the hair there. First off, did you watch Mrs. Doubtfire on your flight to Oakland? You've got quite the streak going.
You know, actually, Delta has a great selection of movies. There's some classics like Citizen Kane and Casablanca were there to choose from. I went with the modern-day equivalent, which is San Andreas starring The Rock.
Oh, excellent choice.
As Trey told us, he tries to fight an earthquake in that.
Don't bet against the Rock.
He
All
won.
right.
Yeah,
And,
he can outrun an earthquake. I learned that much too. It's incredible.
unbelievable. Look, Lily, what can we expect from you a little bit later in the show, seeing you as you are in Oakland?
Yeah, I was at shoot-around this morning for the Warriors, and it was great because I got to see Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry have their famous free throw shootout. Steph Curry won that, but also I spoke to Steve Kerr, and I may have offended him too.
Oh.
So you have to stick around for that one and see what I mean by that.
Okay,
Yeah.
great
That's a
tease.
tease.
Great tease, Lily. Okay, we'll talk to Lee a little bit later in the show, again, out in Oakland. But let's start tonight with a little Is This News? Trey has rounded up some recent NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us. We're going to determine whether or not they're actually news, because remember, not all news is actually news. Trey,
That's
first
exactly
headline.
right. Our first headline comes from ESPN, and it reads, Kings find DeMarcus Cousins for tirade versus columnist. Is this news?
This is news. The Kings didn't have to fine him. And by fining him for going after Sacramento beat writer Andy Ferrillo in the locker room, they're saying, listen, you're not bigger than the team. You can't just do what you want. You have to treat the media with some respect. And they did that. And I think this is probably the fair punishment. And this is a sign to the rest of the league that one player doesn't run our franchise. This is the way things should be done.
DeMarcus himself, he released a statement today. I believe we have it. He says, there is a time, place, and manner to say everything, and I chose the wrong ones. Like most people, I'm fiercely protective of my friends and family, and I let my emotions get the best of me in this situation. I understand my actions were inexcusable, and I commit to upholding the professional standards of the Kings and the NBA. I apologize to my teammates, fans, and the Kings organization for my behavior and the ensuing distraction, and look forward to moving on and focusing on basketball. Again, that was Cousins' statement. Did you notice who he didn't apologize to there? He said
The
the
Sacramento-
teammates, fans,
yeah.
and the Kings, Nothing to do with the Sacramento Bee or the media maybe in general.
He definitely made that a point not to include it, right? He didn't apologize to Andy Furillo, who he was physically intimidating here in the locker room. It's very Rajon Rondo-esque. If you remember last year with the Sacramento Kings, Rondo eventually put out an apology towards Bill Kennedy after using an anti-gay slur towards him, but he didn't apologize to Bill Kennedy whatsoever. To me, it's identical, is it not?
Yeah, a little bit. One problem with this, I think, is, and I think Sacktown Royalty, which is a great Kings blog out there, they made this point today, I saw, the Kings didn't really find DeMarcus Cousins for his actions there. They didn't really, when you think about it. They fined him because this became a story. And then they had to go, well, we got to do something now.
Right.
Because this happened prior. They could have stepped in right away. They saw it. There was people with the Kings organization in there. This obviously could have went up the chain here and said, well, we got to fine him or do something. They waited until it became a story and the video got out there and everyone's losing their mind. Oh my God, you can't do that. I mean, whether or not you side with Cousins because you don't think his family should come up in any reporting, that's another thing. But you can't get up in his face like that and dropping F-bombs and doing all that. That's just, it's not professional.
Sure.
But they waited until it became a story. So they didn't get in front of it.
No. And that's
Right?
I think that's
It's just
entirely
another
fair.
example of the Kings organization sort of, trailing the rest of the league when a lot of other organizations, in my opinion.
Right. I think part of it has nothing to do with DeMarcus Cousins' family whatsoever, because that was a published report back in May.
Right.
The physical intimidation of a reporter just can't be allowed in this league. And I don't think it necessarily makes a fracture between DeMarcus Cousins and the management of the Sacramento Kings, because it's all how DeMarcus takes it.
Right.
I mean, it could be a tiny fracture if he's upset with it. And a tiny fracture could eventually lead to the foundation breaking the relationship between them. But if he takes it fine, then I don't see it as a problem between them. But something needed to be said. And yes, they didn't get out in front of it, but it was said.
Yeah, and he had to. I mean, I think we can all agree he did have to be reprimanded for that.
Sure.
Because when the video comes out, it's quite glaring. All right, Trey, next headline.
Our next headline also comes from ESPN, and it says, best NBA big man? Rudy Gobert says, right now, I think it's me. Is this news?
No, this is not news. This is not news because we get one of these headlines every couple of weeks. Player X says, I'm the best at so-and-so, be it a position, or I think we just had Patrick Beverley saying, I'm the best defender in the league. This is fine. They're NBA players. You should think you're the best. You are one of the best players in the world. I got no problem with it, but it's not really a headline. It's not really news to me.
No. Yeah, you always hear a guy, hey, I want to be MVP one year.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't be MVP. You can't be the best. Of course, this is what they should say. And Rudy Gobert isn't that far off.
No, he's definitely in the conversation. I don't know if he's the best, but he's right there. And he's still young.
on one end for sure.
Yeah, he's arguably the best defensive center.
Sure.
I couldn't call him the best because you can't throw it to him for a score, right? You can't just say, hey, Rudy Gobert, get us 30 tonight. And if you're going to be the best center in the league, you have to be able to do it on both ends when you're asked.
Right.
So yes, say he's up there, but a guy who only shoots 6 times per game, I'd rather go with it. If you're picking a guy for a series, let's say, or a night, or a season, and you need a guy who's good on both ends, I would take Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol, DeMarcus Cousins may be in the mix there. I mean, offensively, he's the juggernaut. Maybe not as great defensively.
Rudy trumps him on the defensive end, but I think Marc Gasol has shown that he can be a superstar on both ends. He doesn't really choose to be a superstar on the offensive end all the time. He's a giving man, and his giving nature kind of, it undercuts what we think of his offensive ability. He can score 30, but he doesn't do it all the time.
We threw a poll up when we were on our Twitter show this morning. Who is the best center in the NBA right now? People have spoken. 43% say DeMarcus Cousins, 24% for Marc Gasol, and then you see DeAndre and Rudy coming in there. A lot of people freaking out. Where's Hassan Whiteside? Gobert's comments come at the perfect time because he just had an unbelievable game against Marc Gasol and the Grizzlies.
It was an amazing game.
He went 9 for 9 from the field, and he kept Marc Gasol, or helped keep Marc Gasol to 4 of 22. And the Jazz are 11-2 over their last 13. He's averaging 15-12. The blocks are there. He's shooting like an unbelievable percentage, 70+%. It's just good timing to say, I'm the best. But, we can hear from the people out there. Jump on Twitter, #TheStarters, whether you agree with Rudy Gobert. Is he the best, or is he just in the conversation? All right, Trey, I think we got time for one more headline.
Yeah, our final headline comes from an SB Nation post based on Eric Pincus's report at Basketball Insiders. And it reads, hoverboards, jet skis, and fireworks are banned in the new NBA CBA. Is this news?
This is the no fun league. It's the NFL all of a sudden. No. This is probably the right news. I guess it makes sense. I'm surprised jet skis weren't banned before. Why is this
Yeah.
just happening now?
I guess so. Yeah, we got fireworks, firearms, jet skiing, hoverboards, trampoline. You can't go to a
You
trampoline.
can't go on a trampoline?
I
What am I
know.
supposed to do with my summers?
You can.
You're
I
not
can
an
jump on a
NBA player.
trampoline.
You're not like Lee Ellis, who pretends he's a basketball player,
news.
a professional basketball player.
Hoverboards are exploding all over the place. I think Michelle Roberts and Adam Silver are saving the players from themselves because these things aren't safe.
This was an
I've seen
iconic
news
moment,
reports.
though.
I've seen news reports where these things blow up.
J.R.
Yes.
Smith, back,
Hoverboards they burned a
2015.
little too bright, you would say.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it does bring up one good question, though. We listed all the things there. What about banana boats? Like a banana boat, definitely not a jet ski. But what about these guys? Can we do this still?
A couple of those banana boat members are leadership members in the players'
Yeah,
union.
you
really
know.
makes you think.
Yeah, they must have been fighting for the banana boat. So we'll see.
We
When
can
we
get rid of
return.
jet skis, but not banana boats.
Yeah, for sure. All right, when we return, Stan Van Gundy is angry and Torian Prince can't stop dabbing. We'll fill in the blank after the jump. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the starters. We got a tweet from Lee Ellis who wanted to chime in to say jet skis are mad dangerous. Guess that's why his hair's all messed up. Been out in the bay, jet skiing around, living a life of danger.
I mean, they
on the
are.
edge.
I guess they
This
are.
is from a man who thinks untying your shoelaces
Yeah,
is
yeah.
dangerous.
All right, let's play a little fill in the blank. Trey, take it away, buddy.
The Pistons have lost 4 of their last 5, including a 31-point blowout last night against the Bulls. Afterwards, Stan Van Gundy was not happy.
Team meeting, my that stuff's, like I said before, that stuff means nothing. It's what you do on the court. Talking's easy. It was a disgusting performance, so by all of us, me included. I mean, it was unprofessional, embarrassing, humiliating, whatever you want to say. It was terrible. I guarantee you, on Wednesday night, we're not trotting that 5 out there again.
Guys, fill in the blank. Stan Van Gundy's rant was blank.
Stan Van Gundy is realer than most. Isn't he? Is he not? I mean, he just brings it.
He
Every
does.
single press conference. That man is real.
Stan Van Gundy's rant was just missing a Diet Pepsi.
The
Were
old-
you not just waiting for Reggie Jackson or Andre Drummond to sort of saddle up beside him, put his arm around him, and then pretend everything was all right? I was just missing that, like the old Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy, and he had the little Diet Pepsi there. What is going on, though, with
The
this
old
team?
Dwight DP days. I hated
Yeah.
that. I hated that press conference.
Well, yeah, it was very
It
awkward.
was quite awkward.
But he brings up a good point. The Pistons were the second best team defensively through 27 games, and then the last 3 have just gotten destroyed, and he can't figure it out. But we do know, because he said in this rant, a part of it, that the starting 5 of Tobias Harris, Marcus Morris, Andre Drummond, KCP, and Reggie Jackson, they're not going to be starting again on Wednesday night versus the Grizzlies. He made that very clear.
Yeah, obviously it hasn't been fun to watch them the last few games. They've totally changed their identity since Reggie Jackson has come back. They're 3-6 since he came back, but I don't think there's any panic needed right now. I mean, they're 11-10 when Reggie Jackson came back. They're 14-16 right now. It's not like they were a juggernaut when Reggie Jackson came back. Yeah,
They did have a players-only meeting, though. Is that
Yeah.
sort of not scream a little bit of panic? What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But players-only meetings. I mean, we buy a lot into players-only meetings a lot of the time, but Stan Van just set us straight. There's nothing behind them a lot of the time. It's just like, hey, we're lonely. Let's just talk.
Okay, they're just hanging out. All right, Trey, next one.
Just when you thought the dab was dead, hold your back in! Because after a clutch Dennis Schroeder jumper last night, Hawks rookie Torian Prince really went for it, hitting something like 22 dabs in about 4 seconds. Guys, fill in the blank. Torian Prince's dab was blank. It's a lot of dabs. Dabs per second is incredible.
I'm writing a novel here, but I think Prince's dab was actually the second best dab of the week.
What?
In the NBA community. I think you're right. The dab somehow is back suddenly. We thought it was done. But did you see the kid in Utah? Mark Cuban is going to come over to give him a high five, and he just drops the dab right in his face.
Cubes handles it very well, though.
He does, but that
Yeah.
kid's a savage. Like, right there. So I think that's the best one. Prince's is unbelievable, the Infinity dab or whatever, but yeah, that one's better in my
I
opinion.
think you can call him Taurine Prince. Because like the active ingredient in Red Bull and other sports drinks, this guy was hyped. Yeah. He was amped.
I love that it was on a jumper too. Like it wasn't a huge dunk or block. I mean, it was a big shot by Schroeder, but
Right now, our producer, Matt Austin, in the control room is doing that because this was his joke. He loved the Taurine
Wow,
joke. So
good pun,
right now,
Matt.
he's
Sounds
out.
like
It
a
was
Matt
good.
Austin joke for
was good.
sure.
yeah, great pun. All right, I think we got time for one more, Trey.
Yeah, late in that Pistons-Bulls blowout, Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade were seen having some fun on the bench. Or as Gustavo Vega put it on Twitter, when you're trying to hook up your boy with girls at the club. However, Wade's wife, Gabrielle Union, saw the tweet, to which she replied, crosses Jimmy off the barbecue list. Fill in the blank, my friends. Gabrielle Union's reaction to Jimmy Butler was blank.
The perfect quote retweet. That's well executed. She had the 3 eyeball emojis, then the killer zing line. She's obviously having fun with it. I loved it. It's perfect.
That was hurtful because it was real.
Because they have a good barbecue?
No, because it feels like she crossed him off the list. Like
really think so?
It felt like there was some motivation behind that.
come on.
That was a dig.
We should point out Jimmy Butler has said, I think on Instagram, that he was talking to like the trainer
Yeah,
or
it's like
something.
his trainer wants to work with Wade or something? I don't know.
No possible
Hash it
way.
out at the barbecue. Though.
You don't believe it. You don't believe it. No, I love that tweet. That is so good. Crosses Jimmy off the barbecue. You do know the Wades are having an unbelievable barbecue. I wouldn't want to miss that, so I feel bad for Jimmy.
I'm trying to get back this summer to go.
Are you?
Yeah. Haven't heard an invitation yet, though.
Yeah, you're bros with
surprisingly.
Dwayne Wade, aren't you?
Yeah, we're super close.
Yeah, all right. We gotta take a quick break. When we come back, Lily.
Welcome back to the show. We got a heck of a doubleheader here on NBA TV Fan Night. First one, Spurs and Rockets, and Lee's down at Jazz and Warriors to tell us what's going on in Golden State. It's time for Lee by the Bay. Hey Lee, are we able to handle ourselves there with everything that's going on around you?
Yeah, we always seem to manage to time these hits when something else is really crazy going on behind us. But, it's not too bad.
What
It's
do you
under
mean?
control.
There's nothing going on behind you.
Well, there was before. Hey, I want to get doinked. That's the one thing I want to do while I'm on there. I want to get a real classic doinker. Someone playing basketball.
We gotta get Julie Fair to throw a basketball at your head right now.
Lee got the chance to talk to Steve Kerr today, and I know you consider yourself an NBA historian, but Steve taught you something that you didn't know.
Yeah, that's right, because Steve Kerr, of course, came into this coaching job here with the Warriors with no prior experience, and we always thought that was a bit of a gamble by the Warriors. But I asked him about that, and actually it turns out that Steve Kerr having no head coaching experience is not exactly true. You came in obviously having never coached at any level before, won a championship, you set records. It must be pretty easy, I guess, to coach is what I'm saying. But how difficult is it to, you've got strategy, you've got tactics, and you've got motivation, but just to connect with guys from different backgrounds, different positions, different skill levels, different athletic levels, how difficult is it for you to get across to each single guy and bring the best out of them?
First of all, I'm going to argue your point. I actually coached my son's AAU team in 7th grade, the San Diego Wildcats. We were wildly successful, and it really prepared me to coach in the NBA. So, all right, just want to make that clear.
All right, we got that on tape. Did you win the championship though that year?
AAU, like, who the hell knows what the championship is? You just play a million games.
Steve Kerr is realer than Stan Van Gundy, just telling it like it is. Now, the Warriors have won 4 in a row, but Kerr hasn't been happy the entire way, especially after that Knicks win.
Yeah, that was interesting, because they had a pretty comfortable win. It was a 13-point victory, and the Knicks were short-handed as well. But Steve Kerr wasn't happy with his team's performance. He called them out. He said they weren't really focused. They weren't committed as much as he liked to see them. And then they went out and smoked the Portland Trail Blazers by 45 points. So I actually talked to him about that, and I thought that what he did with his team after the Knicks win was a move that we've seen from someone else somewhere before. After your win two games ago against the New York Knicks, it was a comfortable win, but you said afterwards you weren't that happy with the team's performance, and then they come out and smoke the Blazers by 45 points. Was that you channeling your inner Greg Popovich and saying, we're never happy with the performance?
It was genuine. It was real. We didn't play very well. We were playing an undermanned team, and we weren't sharp. We were moving the ball, which was great, but we didn't seem to have much purpose out there at either end. And I was really pleased with the way we responded against Portland. Played a much cleaner game, much sharper game. And that's what we have to do to prepare for what's ahead.
Okay, Lee, if everything goes according to plan and you don't get arrested tonight, we're going to see you back here tomorrow. What do you have in store for us?
Well, it was good. I got to catch up with Clay Thompson as well today, and you might remember a few weeks ago, Clay Thompson bragged about how he's the best paper aeroplane maker in the world. So I actually put him to the test today, and it was a lot of fun. So you're going to see the final results of that tomorrow. But he, as soon as I said it to him, he was up for it straight away. Like, there was no hesitation that he had to, perform under pressure. It was a lot of fun.
All right, Lee, we will see you tomorrow, and you go have some fun there. You turn around and go have some fun.
Hey, go dance, man.
Hey, listen, I might be getting doinked here because they are playing pickup down here at this end.
Let's get the doink there.
Here
Someone
comes the
hit
ball.
him.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
He's okay. Definitely didn't wreck his hair.
You have an excuse for your hair now, yeah. All right, after the break, wedgie.
Oh, why are we showing this?
We're throwing the people off, Skeets.
That hurts, man. It hurts just watching that. Back with the starters. We're all tied up at the bottom of the standings in the pick and play contest for December, and we have decided that the pick and payoff, be it Trey or I, because it's going to come down to a two-man race. It's going to be on this Friday show at 6 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV. So make sure you tune in for that. Let's get to tonight's very important picks. Whoa, baby! Trey, Lee, Tass have the Spurs on the road. I'll take the home team, the Rockets. This one, of course, on NBA TV.
We're tied up top in the rankings as well.
Yeah, you're
Skeets.
fine, and no one cares, man.
Here's some good news. We had a wedgie last night.
Yes!
Oh, that's wedgie time.
Number 15 on the season in Minnesota on NBA TV. Dave Benz, Jim Peterson on the call. Take it away.
Levine. Muhammad going in, and we have a wedgie. Don't know what number we're on for the league, but I'm sure the starters will add that to their total tomorrow.
We've had the wedgie, we have not had the ledgie, but we had a pigeon in Chicago.
These guys are all over the lexicon. Pidgey, ledgy, wedgie, number 15, Dave, and we're on pace for 48 this season.
Awesome. Shout out to those guys for the shout out to us. All right, on today's Twitter show, we picked our early all-star starters, and Trey declared his love for a very controversial dessert.
This one comes from Kenny Ducey, Sports Illustrated writer. This was on the night of Tim Duncan's jersey retirement. He says, carrot cake is very bad, and Tim Duncan should be ashamed of himself for eating it. I personally think carrot cake is one of the best cakes there is. I had a carrot cake for my wedding cake. So
Wow.
Kenny Ducey, you need to shut your face.
Ouch. We put up a poll. Is carrot cake good? The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, 45% of people
But you
agree.
can also shut your face, Kenny D. All right. Tonight, Spurs Rockets, Jazz Warriors. Great doubleheader here. Coverage beginning in about 20 seconds, so don't go anywhere.
Can't wait. Can't wait to see Lee all over the network tonight.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Bothering people left and right.
getting doinked.
Heck of a doubleheader going on. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And remember, like the Warriors pregame routine, Lee Ellis can play any sport. Any sport.
Race the night, people.